I got a guess.
Good morning. Good morning, Wolfpack. Equal being Wolf fam. Wolfpack. Good to see everyone. I am sore as fuck.
What'd you do?
Here.
I did weightlifting the other day, just
Whoa.
stupid. and then
How
I
high
went
did you lift them?
Mark Aramini.
pretty good hike.
I was
Had you
gonna
not
say
been
you're trying to compete with Aramini.
Yeah, I'm turning into Aramini, unfortunately. All this wolf is turning me.
How many
No.
unplanned one-handed push-ups can you do at once?
No, we need a jacked dude on our side of the fight.
Yeah, to fight back.
Well, I've been lifting weights a little bit, so I'll just step it up, and we'll have a fight with Aramini. We should cut more promos on him, I think. So.
Hey, speaking of promos, where's the one where Madison and the Commissioner strike back at Deadass Stigmatizer?
I think you managed to totally bury that fun thing we did.
How did you carry it?
Well, it just he gave half of his video's runtime to Emma, and I didn't make any sense.
It's important to mix it up for the viewers. They want to see a little variety.
Wow.
Oh, I'm glad that three of us are eating right now because it makes me feel like we're synced up.
I ate earlier, but I probably will eat something over the course of this meeting.
Sometimes on these mornings where I know it's like normally I would be kind of more up and active by now, but it's because this thing is at 11, then I kind of just like have this long, slow morning.
Yeah.
And then somehow I just forgot to eat. And then I was like, oh, I'm about to drink a bunch of coffee. Better eat something.
Yep. Same. I'm on the same wavelength as you, Jen.
Great. We're tuned in.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to the YouTube streamers that have to watch it. But have to do it.
They'll get over it.
Have to do what?
They'll get over it.
Get over what?
My cereal.
I think that eating is rude.
Cereal. It's cereal. They'll get over it, but I won't. But that's okay.
Yeah, I've been watching like gaming streamers, and a lot of times they'll like be eating because they're like streaming all the time. If they're like good at it and professional, they're like so they have to like eat while they're streaming too. And so they'll like mute their microphone and sometimes even turn off their camera like when they're like taking a bite. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, go ahead and eat. But I guess it's like a faux pas in the streaming world.
I dated
I
someone.
don't want to hear it.
I dated someone who had to like take a trip to go visit, and her mother wouldn't eat in the same room as me because she
That's a
didn't
whole
want anybody
different.
to see her eating.
Where was she from?
Staten Island.
Oh.
People on Terrace House are constantly talking with their mouth full, but they just put their hand in front of their mouth. I like that style.
Oh.
I like to eat alone because it allows me to eat like an animal, which is how I generally prefer to eat.
I can't help but eat like an animal regardless. So
Yeah, I was gonna say Kenny eats like an animal in front of me every day.
So, chapter 32, that's where we're starting?
Yeah. Yeah.
On the AC alone.
Good section of book right here.
Gripping.
Yeah, God Wizard Severian is the best Severian.
God Wizard 7.
That's like the young adult version.
God Emperor.
It's true.
He's like
It's
Storm.
funny that he only gets to become Paul Muad'Dib like in his 40s.
That's how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
I plan on becoming Paul Al-Madib in my 40s.
I support that.
Thank you.
But you're gonna live forever, Connor.
All right, I'll be Duke Leto the second.
You got to become a sandworm. That's the
Right. My body is not my own.
That's the long.
My skin is not my own.
My skin isn't my own.
I was reading about Proclus last night, or Proclus. I don't know how you say his name, but he had very Connor Kaiser-esque ideas about his own body.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wouldn't let anyone do a portrait of it because he was like, that has nothing to do with me. That's an image of an image.
Word. I feel
That's
that.
funny. I did see a recent and funny portrait of Connor, or I saw a portrait of Connor recently.
Oh?
Dave Iden posted a picture of you on Instagram that he had taken during Timon of Athens.
Oh.
I want to find that and put it on the stream.
You were sitting in the chair, like, you know, the picture of Jake that was like the poster image. It's just that setup, but with you in it.
Huh. I don't remember that picture right now.
Oh, and you're wearing my glasses.
Oh, back in those days.
Yeah.
That was an interesting time. I was a completely different person for that period.
That was, I think the Wolfpack was happening at that point. So you have video footage of it.
Whoa, Connor,
Well, check back in time to see me in Mark's glasses.
Dave Iden.
Speaking of time travel.
Speaking of time travel. I like that Severian, like, there's not really a moment of epiphany for him that he's in the past. It just kind of like slowly occurs to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the past." All right.
Does he know? Does he realize that?
Realizes where he is. When he gets to the Mansion Tower, he's like, "What the fuck?" He starts like yelling, like, "That's the Witch's Tower! That's the Bear Tower!"
That's true. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think he fully
He
realizes.
totally downplays it. I feel like this is a very Wolfy trick of kind of making you playing it as if we knew all along that this is what was going on, when clearly seconds ago we didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
I feel like he has a lot of different characters that do that in various flavors. And I agree that suddenly I realized that Severian had been thinking the whole time that we were in the past or something.
Well, I was looking for those context clues a little bit in reading this because we talked about it last time. Like whether or not he knows that he's in the past or whatever.
You kind of didn't realize.
There was one point that stuck out to me when he's asking someone about like some fruits or something. And he's asking about like orchards. I can't remember. It's like he asks about something in a way that where I'm like, oh, maybe this is his way of questioning what time he's in. But
wasn't it because he realizes that there, like, in his time, there are orchards that extend this like entire distance, but when he's there, it's only in this like one spot, and the guy is like, oh yeah, they figured out that like if they plant orchards here, it works okay. So it's like almost like it's a more recent thing.
The climate's changing, right?
Right.
And then
the sun is just starting to die.
Right, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's more that there are fewer orchards in Severian's time.
Oh, maybe that.
Not creepy.
We'll come up on it.
But in that same conversation, he talks about the inn that they're going to, and it seems from the way he's talking about the inn that he expects it to be there, which to me would communicate that he might think that he's in his time.
I think at that
there's
point,
definitely a point at which he thinks it's in his. There's definitely a chunk of it where he thinks it's in his time. Because he's like, I need to go figure out who's the autarch now, who thinks they're the autarch now, and like, you know, he's like, I got to reintroduce myself into my rulership or whatever. Like, I think there is definitely a point.
Yeah, but I think the realization kind of creeps up on him. Like you watch
Yeah.
like these
Right.
things kind of happen, and then eventually he's just like
Yeah.
all the way in it, where he's like, oh okay, yeah, like this.
Yeah. Does it take him getting brought to Typhon to like realize that though?
I guess
No, it's the mountains, right? It's when he's like on
The
the
mountains aren't
It's in the
the
citadel.
mountains aren't carved yet.
yeah, and then he meets Umar. So and I think
Oh yeah.
yeah, like meeting Umar is like a big part of it.
And
Yeah.
he
Almost
causes,
just.
he causes the earthquake that brings down that fallen section of the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes the witch's tower lean over or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, setting up the game board.
That was a cool part.
In this first chapter here, we're not too interested in the romance between Hadelin and Burgundafora, right? That's not a
I
thing.
feel happy for Gunny.
Yeah.
Is she supposed to be like Mary Magdalene?
It seemed like she was going to be.
I don't know how to love him. At Sunday, I'm going to bring up Jesus Christ Superstar as part of my worship.
Who are their kids gonna be? It seems like relevant that they're gonna have kids and start a.
Oh, it's they start a line that ends in Iata, maybe. I think I might be misremembering this.
I only ask because it seems like it's relevant. Like it seems like they're getting together and they're starting like a household is relevant somehow to the universe of Urth instead of just like an incidental plot point.
Right.
Is Iata the one that Iata's the one that marries Maxilendus,
Right.
which is like he.
The girl in the boat?
I think
Yeah,
I'm totally
but-
misremembering. I'm misremembering.
Oh, that would make sense. He falls in love with that girl on the boat.
Yeah, that she would be a descendant of Hadelin. That would make sense.
Yeah, would. Wow.
I thought I had written proof someplace that somebody else was talking about that, but
Ronsky says hi in the chat.
hey, Ransky.
Hi.
I haven't seen Ronsky in a long time. Hey.
Ronsky's on Instagram now too.
Oh shit! Do I have to go on Instagram now?
No, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah, I do. It's cool.
I mean, if you want to, you have to.
There you go.
If you
Not
want,
everything we want happens.
You don't
it's
have
attainable
to.
though. It's attainable.
I heard there's
It's
a lot
attainable.
more butt cheeks on it since the quarantine started.
It's true. It's true.
I don't see
believe
them in my feed though. I'm not following the right people.
Yeah, I don't follow a whole lot of butt cheeks.
Should I post butt cheeks?
I had my butt. I had a butt story a couple weeks ago. I did it. It was worth it.
Stories.
A butt story.
I had a butt. The cats were in it too. It was good. It was good.
Cats and butts.
Just one. Just one butt.
You got half a Pixar movie right there.
Yes.
Butts and cats.
We've done it.
Animated. Boom.
Imagine the
Oh
toy.
man, I love this thing. I love this thing when all the people in the inn are coming to help him when Zama comes in and he says, "I would like to think that one or even several of them were myself."
Huh.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it
What the fuck? What was that?
Like he has their memories.
because he has all
Oh.
of the. He's starting to like realize that there's all these different. Like he's starting to tap into his other older memories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's probably kind of a part of his like understanding of this as a present.
Yeah, I think he's figuring it out the whole time. Like, I think, yes, like, I mean, every time that you slowly realize something, you're holding other thoughts and beliefs that don't really make sense with the new ones at the same time while they're, like, shifting out. So he could be like, oh, I need to go to the Citadel and restore my throne, but also be like, oh, fuck, that, like, that used to be, you know, that
well, it's also like the older memories are less coherent and less clear, right? And so it's like there's kind of, I doubt that it's easy to understand. It's easy to imagine that you could like see a face and be like, oh, that's my face, but not necessarily get like that person's whole backstory and like what year they lived in and like all these kind of like hard data points or whatever. It's easy for me to imagine him.
Yeah.
Identifying so weird about telling us that he's realizing that he's not in his own time period, though. I feel like he's oddly cagey. He talks about it like he talks about sex, where like clearly what you're saying, you're leaving something out. What does that say to us about him? Is that just star interference with his memory or whatever we think it is? What's going on?
I think his brain is a little bit scrambled.
You think so? He's concussed?
I think he's consistently figured stuff out and then tried to play it off to the reader that he knew it all along. And he does that to characters in the books too. It's kind of his personality is like he's working back here and he feels like he's a little slow, so he has to like compensate. Because he is a little slow. I can relate. So like, you know, it's like a little kid. Like once you figure something out, you're like, yeah, this is a thing I've known for the appropriate amount of time.
Oh, well, everybody does that. It's not just kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Or like if you know something, your mind wants to kind of like project it backwards as if you've known it the whole time. Like in your memory.
You're also retrofitting it. You're figuring out, oh yeah, I see how that's been true.
Right. And if he's like doing that thing where he's actually, when he's writing, where he's actually like replaying the memories in order to write them, it makes sense that he would be kind of like noticing, like it's the future Severian who's writing the thing. Like future Severian is the one who's writing the thing. So then he's kind of like reliving these memories, but he goes into that state, like as far as he says, when he goes into his memories, he's basically like in them. So then if he's in his memories, he's in there, but he's the new Severian in the memory. So now he's like looking at these different context clues that he might not have seen when he first experienced them. But if he's like reliving a moment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he has moments like when he meets, when he's talking with the guy in the cell next to him, and he's telling about Dr. Talos's play, but he's also, you know, kind of creating the genesis of Dr. Talos's play, which I guess we can talk about, you know, when we get there. But in that situation, he's creating, you know, that's an instance where he's, the author of Severian is like realizing stuff.
Right.
That he didn't realize at the time.
I imagine that because he has this like kind of weird experience of memory, which he both kind of like naturally has and then also has compounded because he has all these other people's memories. It seems to me that there would be some kind of like a little bit of like weird interference there when he's going back into them, where there's like layers of information that he might not have experienced at the time of the original memory, but he's experiencing on the like remembering. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But someone who's from Baltimore yesterday told me that they thought I was kind of like getting the accent, like it was slipping in.
That's cool.
I think there are some things that are like close enough to Southernisms that I'll say, like I'll kind of get there occasionally.
I mean, I like to put it on because I love it so much.
It is really fun.
But I have been told now, which members of my family have told me this in the past, like, you're getting a Baltimore accent. But now it was like someone from here told me that yesterday, and I was like, oh.
I rest easy in the fact that when I open up my mouth, I always sound like Katharine Hepburn.
The continental accent.
Yeah, I like it.
So,
like Captain Janeway.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
so
Definitely, if we're ranking all the captains with how they sound, Janeway sounds the best of all the captains.
I mean, Jean-Luc's hard to beat, though.
It's true, but I'm going to go Janeway because she sounds like a cat.
Really
Oh my god!
We finished Voyager, you guys. There's a void in my life now.
Wow.
A Voyager.
Voyager. Anyway, I never really thought about his memory thing that way, but that just kind of occurred to me.
Ronsky says the Baltimore accent is Philly/South Jersey meets Appalachia.
Oh.
I mean,
Philly/South Jersey is the Baltimore accent minus Appalachia.
I think the Baltimore accent's a little. I think there's a little bit more in there. I think there's the reason it's so cool and weird is that there's like so many things in there.
I think it's rooted in like Eastern European, right?
And
From all the Czechoslovakians.
Like Scotch Irish too, like Scottish. I think there were a lot of like Scottish.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Scottish names around. Of names of stuff. And
I feel that Polish thing there.
Yeah, Polish is huge.
There's an odd L that floats around all of the Baltimore vowels that I could see being an Eastern European thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of. My point is, I think there's a lot of different inputs that come out as that one really weird output.
Yeah. The wild chimera.
The Port Town.
Port Town. This is Port Town.
This is Port Town.
You know, it's just a Port Town. You take a lot of different influences, mixing them all up. Okay.
Okay, so why does Zama have to die a third time? Is it just is it just to illustrate how like sad the mass is, the crowd is?
Well, I think the other part of the question is like, what's up with Syrinx? What is the purpose of Syrinx?
Yeah.
I think they're kind of tied together. Because he doesn't come back.
Time with Syrinx.
I have an idea about this.
Let's hear
I feel like it's talking about how having a physical life after death sucks. Like, that's not what you want. You know, and Syrinx, like, one of the whole things about Syrinx is that all of his promises are hollow. And I think this is just getting right down to, even conceptually, even if he did deliver and you were just alive again, like, that still sucks. That's not what you want.
It's
the
a
whole
literalism.
is a bad idea.
Taking the concept of resurrection literally is to miss the point.
Right,
Oh.
you're right. So, fuck you, fundamentalists.
Yes.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. It's also interesting that Syrinx is killed by the people, but he was attracting crowds, you know, just a couple days earlier, and I think there's like something to it that like Severian comes and he's like a real like leader, and then
Yeah.
people are like kind of saved in a way because they realize that Syrinx is a charlatan,
Well,
even
and
though he's an impressive wizard.
Zama is also kind of a bizarro Jesus figure too, of the whole resurrection thing.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? I had another specific thing I wanted to say about in that direction.
No, but I mean, while you're thinking, I mean,
Oh,
like going back to Brian's original question, it's interesting that Zama is resurrected, and then he turns back into a zombie once Syrinx enters the scene, which is confusing. But then once he kills Syrinx, he's human again. But then the commoners, the people, kill him because
like Jesus.
they can.
Like Jesus did. The commoners did that to Jesus too. He
Yeah.
comes into town and they're like, "Yay, we're gonna overthrow Rome! Look at this guy!" And then when he had done it in a week, they're like, "Fucking kill him, Rome!" I feel that's a Zama echo there. Whoever wrote the Bible, clearly a Wolfe fan.
Does Jesus bring anyone back from the dead? Does Jesus?
Yeah, Lazarus.
Okay. Is there any ties to that here?
I think so.
Yeah, to some degree.
I think in the name,
Just
like the prominent Z-A thing.
Zama, Lazarus.
Yeah.
Zamorous.
The Zamorsaurus.
It says in here, it says in the thing, the lexicon, that Zama is Saint Zama, who's just a guy. But it's probably just, but like, I think that's just Andre. That's just Michelle, That's just, I think that's just Michelle's idea. So there is a Saint Zama who died, I guess.
Probably.
You gotta die in order to be a saint. Anyway, that's what I think about that.
Anyways. Alright, so I guess we're on chapter 33 now. Aboard the AC Alone.
AC Alone. Check the notes here.
Oh, you get another story within a story.
Oh yeah, happy to see that.
That one comes in right when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nice and short. It just gets to the point.
It's
Don't
a
give
short.
me like a fucking chapter-long side story. Give me, if it's gonna be a side story, give me a side story in the chapter.
Yeah, it's like a 3-page.
I found this story to be like really comforting at right now, given our current worldwide plague issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
see
feel
that.
like it's a very concise breakdown of the basic thing that happens. Like people are constantly convincing themselves that they're so smart and so good, and that they can like break the rules, and then they continue to until they get so far away from the rules that they have no conception of what their relationship to the world is anymore, and everything comes crashing down, and it just goes right back to the rules.
It's not about rules, it's about values.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So,
You mean like laws of nature?
yeah, like the fundamental like processes of the universe that you don't grow infinitely because you're so smart. Everything there's day and night, there's summer, winter. Like you don't get out of
Talking about the second law, right? Everything tends towards entropy and enthalpy. It all falls apart.
Sure, it all falls apart in order to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. And like I don't know, it just seems like right now with our situation, it's just so explicit how high on our own supply people are. Like we are smart. We are not only are human beings the smartest animal that's ever existed, we are the smartest human beings that's ever existed. So there's all we need to do is just more of what we did.
Right.
Right.
Right. We just got to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and
Forever.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like our head hurts because we've been banging against the wall. It's probably because we're not banging it hard enough.
Bang it again. Bang it again.
Yeah, it's like this wall's coming down. I just got to hit it harder.
I don't mean to derail, but if anyone here hasn't seen the new Michael Moore produced documentary Planet of the Humans, I feel like you might like it. Like, it basically just attacks the green movement.
Yeah, I've been interested in that. People have been saying that there's factual inaccuracies in that movie.
Right. It's a conversation piece. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it definitely opens up your eyes to a lot of interesting points of view.
Is it saying that the green movement is existing to prop up a failing species in society or something?
No.
What would you say the main thesis is?
The main thesis is that like technology won't help us get out of help the environment. That we're going to have to like curb our behaviors as a species if we want to, and that we could, but mainly the movie just attacks like windmills, solar, and this biofuels thing, which I actually didn't know anything about. It like explores like natural gas and biofuels, and then just attacks like a lot of capitalists like Al Gore and the dude from Virgin Air and
But why? So like,
I
Bill
like
McKinnon.
the dude from Virgin Air, Branson.
are they? Is there a problem with like alternative energy sources that like it only like covers something else and doesn't like take us far enough because it's not like changing behavior, it's just changing how we like receive the behavior, or like
it's interesting.
They're good. Those things are good, right? Like, come on.
Well, they're good and bad. I mean, they're good and bad. They do. Okay. I haven't seen the movie, but I mean, if you wanted to scale up any of those things, like the amount of like rare earth metals or whatever, you would have to be like mining out of poor countries in Africa or whatever. Like, it would cause a lot of environmental destruction to like scale those things to the point of civilization. Like,
that's only nailing one part of the problem, right? Like, we're just looking at how we fuel our lifestyle that's killing the planet. And there's 1,000 other ways that what we do is bad.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's not just the planet that we're polluting. That lifestyle pollutes our minds.
Yeah.
Marianne knows.
Yeah.
Marianne
she
talks
does.
about this stuff on Twitter all the time. She's like right there with it.
I mean, it's interesting, you know, we just like absolutely do not need the levels of consumption that we currently have. It's like insane. We just like, do not need that.
It's very strange to me that while we're watching the whole, and maybe I've said this before recently, but like we're watching this entire country like failing at dealing with a really kind of simple health problem that affects everyone. And it's really weird to me that there isn't more of a sentiment of like, what if the country was smaller? What if there were 5 countries here? It would be so easy to deal with this problem if we had 5 countries instead of 1.
I mean, when it first started happening, I was convinced that's the only way we could come out of this, because it's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I mean, it doesn't make what we're doing doesn't make any sense.
I feel like people have been sold on this like left to right axis in order to not ever think about the big to small axis, and that like the big people that want to scale up and they want more consolidation and more control over more people, like they can have left or right ideas, but they are the danger.
Sorry. Somebody just brought my digging bar back.
Digging bar?
Yeah.
Is it just a bar that you use to dig?
It is. It is like basically like if you envision a like 6 foot long crowbar, like straight crowbar. It's like it weighs like 30 pounds.
That's like
And it
me
has a point.
driving me.
It has a flat. Yes.
It's a really
It has
skinny
a flat. It has a flat head at the end.
Yeah.
So you can just like it's really heavy, and you can just kind of like whack. It's for like if you need to dig up like a big root or stuff like that. Anyway, that's why I had to get up because they brought it back. I lent it out, but I needed it back because I got to dig some shit.
Is there any other
Anyway,
relevance
what
to the
happened
story of the tale of the town that forgot fauna? Like, is this relevant in the world of Urth? Why does
Do you think that it kind of like? Do you think it sort of mirrors what Severian's doing in this thing where like this town gets destroyed and in the end there's like this old woman tending to it, and it's gonna happen again. The whole thing will happen again. Is that the cycle? Like, is it a reference to the cycle of
just civilization?
Civilization has to keep renewing itself over and over.
I
Does it
mean,
have to keep doing it over and over? No, just this time. But
I think so.
Over
I
and
think
over.
it happens over and over again. I think this is a very grave thing that the garden's tended by an old woman and a crone. In the end, I feel like this is a very Gravesian idea of matrifocal cultures bridging the gap between these patrifocal hypercultures.
I think too that the story kind of has this eerie, like, almost obvious conclusion that we, in our culture, like, perceive there being a primitive past that moves to us ultimately, and that the real truth of the Earth is that this has happened so many times. That this has happened so many more times than we can imagine. And even I think in our understanding of history now, of times that we do know, we still apply this idea that they were primitive because they're behind us. When like we have, I think, evidence of, like in South American cultures, and even I think
that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, like people have been as sophisticated as us before. Maybe not with the identical technology, but I think with the level of sophistication, it's clear that that's
we can't recreate the like Inca architecture.
We can't
not have the
cement.
Not have the skills to make those stones like that. Like we could not do that. We can't do that.
Yeah, Caroline's in the chat.
The Incas were fucking.
The story is a critique of progress, and I really like this phrasing: the notion that the best future is a departure from the past. That's a cool way of wording it. It's like I was talking to somebody else about this today. The phrase, those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. It's funny that the thing that we do is we don't forget it. We just say, okay, that was history, but we're different. It's not going to be the same.
We do forget it, though. We absolutely do forget it.
It's a type of forgetting.
It's true.
We absolutely forget it. In any meaningful way, we might remember parts of it, but what we do is like recraft it into what we want that narrative to be.
Incorrectly.
I think we just got to tweak the phrase a little bit, and we got to say those who don't study history are doomed to forget we repeat it.
Makes sense. I feel like we also the things we tend to remember are more just like, all right, well, this is where this thing happened on this day in this place, and it tends to not have a lot of it doesn't tend to be interpreted a whole lot. People.
Well, it's also only remembered from one very specific perspective, which is like the perspective of like whoever's in power.
Right.
Well, that's a part of interpreting that kind of thing, like a critical.
And it always has to be fit into a grander narrative about how it was leading up to us.
Right. Like I think the way older cultures related to history was much more like they kind of just like made it intentionally made it like mythological, where you could use it in your life. Like
stories have a
they took
utility.
it into abstraction to where you could still use it, and now it's like we take it into hyper, like specificity, so that you fucking can't use it.
I have a metaphysical thing I'd like to talk about here a little bit. I think that previous cultures that had this concept of a ancient golden age, when people were better than us now, I feel like that's also kind of tapping into this top-down universe idea, like the idea that of the Platonic realm, that there is a supernal world of concept that this actual world kind of comes out of, but that world's bigger and better than this world. And I think that us kind of not having this, the idea of the golden age, rather thinking that we're the pinnacle, is the semiotic equivalent of us being cut off from that Platonic supernal realm. And it's part of the problem right now, is that we can't connect ourselves to the sublime symbolically because we think that we are sublime. And we can't get better because we think that this is the best it could be.
Yeah, if something is better than us, then it's not real. Like if there's a better that's not measurable, it's a fairy tale.
If there's something that is better than us, then it's something that we are building ourselves to, so just shut up and be patient.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah.
What do you think we're doing?
Exactly.
Quit naysaying. You're being counterproductive. You have to vote for Joe Biden.
Exactly.
He's the most progressive person who's ever run.
Oh, who said that?
Everyone says that.
Oof.
But like, who is the most progressive person?
No, he technically probably is, but it doesn't matter. Like, technically his platform is probably the most progressive platform, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
he
exactly.
doesn't even know what his platform is.
Yeah.
Nothing will change.
I'm excited for this "don't vote for me" thing to keep spreading until like.
Yes, he's been saying it the entire time. He's been saying it for months and months. He's been saying it for almost
somebody else.
He's told me not to vote for him so many times.
So much.
He keeps doing it.
Like, oh, pistachio ice cream's not your favorite? Probably shouldn't vote for me.
Yeah.
He just keeps doing it.
But is he going to legally mandate people eat pistachio ice cream?
He's gonna. I feel like the grounds for not voting on him is just gonna continue to expand until it's very normal things. It's like, oh, what, you like The Wire better than Sopranos? Then don't vote for me.
It's so weird. Like, I've never had somebody tell me not to vote for them so many times.
I know.
It's
like
weird.
I love him. I hope he runs for president for the rest of our lives. I hope he just owns running for president. It's amazing.
Like bionic Joe Biden is still. Don't vote for
He's going to be a three-termer.
The Bidenonic man.
Oh, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss Uncle Joe.
Oh God.
So the book.
Anyway,
It's not good.
So then we're back after the story. We're back on the boat, and Declan and Helena show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
oh yeah.
Hit some of his followers, stowing away.
Yeah, it's like if the disciples were stalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, oh man. I love a good Jesus echo.
The whole thing, like stopping the storm and.
Does Jesus do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's. It's like early on when he's like gathering disciples. They're like in a boat, and then it starts raining, and he actually like stops the.
Oh, okay. So this is becoming an explicit allegory then, or whatever. Like this is becoming pretty explicit.
I think so.
Yeah.
With, like, told from the point of view of the guy that everyone thinks is the Messiah. So you get all of this neat stuff, like when he's like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker when I get my chance, and then it turns out differently.
Yeah.
That part is so good. Oh man, this is such a great thing.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. This is as good as a Jesus story gets.
Yeah.
It's like having a totally logical, believable part where Jesus is like, I'm gonna kill that man with my bare hands, and then he ends up not killing him. That's what every Jesus story needs.
I mean, it's true. That I think is an essential part of the Jesus story. Is not that you don't get mad; it's that when you get mad, you know how to deal with it, like an adult.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of problem within Christianity, every kind of it, of thinking that sinning is about not sinning in the first place, but like you have to sin. Sinning is about knowing how to deal with your sins. It's about consequences, not punishment. It's only the province of God to punish. The act of sinning is punishment because it cuts you off from, the dance of the universe. But it's inevitable, and like getting back in step is the point of life. It's not always never leaving step in the first place.
Holy shit. Connor, are you our Jesus? Are you
No.
That's very interesting. It sounds like you might be.
Bullshit. No.
No, of course. Of course you wouldn't want to be. It's the worst job.
It is. The severance package is terrible.
You might be the Jesus of this group, though.
Well, I don't know. Then I have to go make more coffee. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put the kettle on.
Maybe
I'm not gonna put that on you, Connor.
Thank you.
You don't
Maybe I
have
should
to be.
some instant decaf. I can turn water into instant decaf coffee. Maybe I'm Jesus of Wolfpack.
Not if it's decaf, homie.
That might be true.
That makes
know-
you Lucifer.
You know what? There's room for all walks of life and every different kind of variety of coffee that people could want to enjoy.
I'm just saying my Jesus wouldn't make decaf.
My Jesus
If they were
breathes
serving
espresso.
others, it wouldn't be decaf. For the record.
I'm gonna make regular cat.
I only drink decaf because regular hurts my body.
Well,
Because I drank too much of it, and I love it.
You should definitely drink decaf. I just
I just want it to be clear. Why? Because there's no reason to drink decaf. There's no reason. There's no reason at all. Unless you love coffee, but you can't drink it. It's like a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, sometimes I want to smell coffee, but it's not the right time to drink it, and that's why I have
Also-
to drink it somehow.
Also, if
You
I'm
guys
drinking,
ever fuck with Dandy Blend? You guys ever fuck with Dandy Blend? It's so good.
really, I'll try it.
Did you say baby
Um,
blend?
Dandy
Dandy
Blend.
Blend.
It's an herbal instant beverage that's mostly dandelion root and like barley, chicory, beetroot, and it kind of has a coffee-like thing, but it's really good for you.
Where do you get it?
I'd like the health food store. If
Yeah,
you want to try some, Ryan, I have a 2-pound bag of it. I can give you a little sample.
Okay.
Come to my house. I'll put it in a jar. I'll give you a little sample. See how you. I think you'd probably like it. It's really good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's good for you too. That's my plug for Dandy Blend.
I gotta make water.
Everyone's.
No, I'm doing two too.
Oh shit!
I took my computer with me.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate that.
My kitchen is like 5 steps from here, so.
There's no internet in my kitchen.
What?
Only 5 steps.
25 steps?
I
Only
think she
5?
said only 5 steps.
Literally 5 steps. My kitchen.
Okay.
What are the 39 steps?
The Hitchcock.
My
movie?
water is directly on the other side of this wall. Right here. Right here.
I gotta go check on my kettle.
Uh-oh. This is like, we need some music, some intermission music now.
Green man. That was the. I actually changed the theme song to the show today.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to watch it when we're done streaming to see if it worked. But I replaced the Suzanne Ciani with a little segment of that typo negative song "Green Man."
I thought you were going to show us whatever that picture was of Connor.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I guess I could show you. I showed the audience though.
What is
Oh,
that?
you did? I must have been gone.
No. Like I showed I put it in the streaming
Oh.
program.
Oh, I see. It's fine. You don't have to do it.
They saw it.
As long as they saw it. They.
They. Carolyn Amonsky and maybe Shazbot and Mark Armini, who we know is secretly watching.
Because he likes to hear his name.
Who? Conrad?
Mark Armini.
Oh.
And because, come on, this is his favorite thing. What's he's just gonna put like
Being
a
wrong.
war, his favorite thing.
We're speculating about him in the chat again, or what's going on?
We don't have to speculate. We know he's there.
Remember that person? Like, I think they were called Pride in Politics or something.
No.
That could have been.
What did that person say?
Someone had their chat name was Pride in Politics, I think.
Huh.
Do you remember?
No. What
Yeah,
did they say in the chat?
They popped in a few weeks ago. I actually don't remember, but they kind of came up with maybe some, like, I don't know, some little factual things to help along our conversation.
Should I?
Well,
tweet it
I'm
or
not
something
opposed to any
after this
facts.
vote
Sorry?
for? Oh, I was gonna tweet at Aramini and ask who he's voting.
Don't tweet at me.
What? No, don't.
Now you're just harassing him.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
It's not harassing celebrities to like interact with them and reinforce.
Celebrity?
He is not a celebrity.
He is to me.
It's not celebrity and it's weird.
Celebrity?
It's not like harassment.
He's just a guy.
Everybody's just a guy, Connor.
Well, it's
Huh?
too late. I did it.
Everybody's just a guy.
I don't think that Bieber's just a guy.
Bieber is definitely not. Child stars don't
Wait,
count.
Bryson Beaver.
People who have been famous since childhood don't count. Those people are fucked with.
Yeah.
Those people's minds are not their own.
Shia? You mean Shia?
Yeah, Shia.
All of them. They're all just horribly manipulated.
Macaulay Culkin's really interesting as an adult.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh god, does he still have that band that does the pizza theme
I don't
Velvet
know.
Underground covers?
I read an interview with him
You guys
recently.
know about
that
that?
was pretty interesting.
Is that part of
Well-
QAnon? Because it should be if it's not.
Oh yeah, it should.
I feel
Macaulay
like he had a
Culkin
really-
It's called Pizza Underground. It's called Pizza Underground.
And he's
Really
friends
dumb.
with Michael Jackson.
It's true
I think
story.
that
It's
band
all
was
true.
with. I think that band was with the guy from Moldy Peaches. If anyone remembers that. mid-aughts band.
Oh yeah.
I just remember Jeff Graham being like, "Oh God, I have this friend from out of town that's like in that band, and I have to go to this show." I just remember him being like, "I have to go to this show
Whoa,
to see
did he
my
talk about it
friend."
later?
Yeah,
Of Pizza Underground or Moldy Peaches?
Pizza Underground.
Why would anyone be bummed about going to see Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Good point.
I think that band is very not good.
Oh, definitely. And there's no pizza themed band that could approach 10 miles of
True.
good.
Will Macaulay Culkin play Severian in the TV show?
I could see it. Well, he's probably too old though.
Huh?
He's too old.
He
though.
plays old Severian. He plays like Urth Severian.
I'd like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, I had a concept for a HBO drama, which is about Kurt Cobain, and played by Macaulay Culkin. The concept being that when he was in that first coma in Rome, he never woke up, so he didn't get to kill himself, and then he wakes up in the present day. And so Macaulay plays Kurt Cobain dealing with our world, having not aged or progressed mentally.
I mean, he would just kill himself now.
Well, that wouldn't. In order to keep the show running, instead, I had some different ideas.
I'm just saying that's what he would do.
He immediately.
It's not better now.
But you get a cool couple episodes when he realizes he can't play guitar anymore because he's been in a coma for a long time. It'd be a great show. Imagine Chris Novoselic and his relationship again. Chris is like along the way, and then he has to deal with Courtney, who's like this whole other thing, that he didn't even like the first time.
And David Grohl is really shitty musician now.
Kurt trying to be nice about Foo Fighters and breaking Dave's heart that he can tell Kurt doesn't like it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just getting into Curb Your Enthusiasm now. Kurt Your Enthusiasm.
That's what it's called. Oh, that's what
That is a good name for it.
That's
Yeah.
what I needed. All right.
Oh, wow.
Book it. Holy hell.
All right. So we've got that, and we've got the Bidenonic man.
Get at us, Hulu.
Now you guys
We're gonna have a full fall slate soon.
Now you guys know that my brain is fully functioning today. This is the type of material. You guys want to go into Saltus again?
Yeah, Saltus.
Salty.
Good old Salty.
They're just
This
gonna
is where it
start the
stops the
antique
storm.
mines.
Oh
Mines
yeah,
only get a
we
brief
asked about the
mention.
mines. That was
Yeah.
cool.
But we get
I
no
want
new
to talk
information.
about that. It's the information we get is very interesting. Cause I looked up. It said did you guys look up what that word is? Where by the advice of they use some specific word.
No.
They built the mine, and it says it's a disembodied voice. It's like a Muslim term, and it's like a whisper, literally they heard a disembodied whisper in their ear.
A
Several
Hatif.
people in town telling them to build this mine.
Huh.
Who is
Fucking
that?
crazy.
What page is this on? Find this page.
It's on 245. 245, end of that paragraph starting with neither.
Read it. I left my book in the living room.
Oh, Hatif.
Okay, so Severian asks a sailor if there were any mines in the area of Saltus. He told me a shaft had been driven into a hillside about a year ago upon the advice of a Hatif that had whispered in the ears of several of the principal citizens of the village, and that a few interesting and valuable items have been brought to the surface. That's it.
So is the Hatif like what giant entity that Severian runs away from in the mine?
A familiar spirit is the mythological Arabic word. Hatif.
I don't know what to make of that.
It's crazy. I love that this mine. I feel like this mine might not be connected to anything else going on in the story at all, besides the fact that Severian went there once.
I mean, my instinct is to try to figure out when Severian could have offhandedly said something about the mind that echoed through time to these people, but I don't know when that is.
I actually wondered if it had something to do with that. Something like that.
It makes me want to go look back at the beginning of book 2.
Could it be the could it be like Abaya?
I'm sorry, what was that last word?
Could it be Abaya or
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how they communicate, right?
Oh, you're right.
In the
It is.
dreams of madmen and artists.
Yeah, Baya's like, come and get us.
so?
So it spoke to several of like the city council people or whatever simultaneously and gave them this idea to dig down.
It's like very Lovecraftian.
It's interesting that it says a few interesting and valuable items have been brought to the surface.
Yes,
The
it's very.
details are so far. Sorry, Jordan.
I wonder.
If it's something particular.
Typhon's time is a little bit after our time. Like Typhon's time.
What do you mean by a little bit?
Well, but it's closest, like it's closer to our time.
It still seems kind of. I don't know. It still seems like it's been rebuilt from some kind of.
It could still be closer to our time. It could still be closer to our time than Severian time.
It's definitely closer to our time, but
even if it's super far.
Wait, I think that in duration it's not necessarily that far away from our time, but I also think that it's sideways to our time to a degree. You know, like there's one way of looking at this where all these universes line up in a line like this, but I think it's really more like they're stacked next to each other.
Everyone's alive somewhere.
Right.
I just wonder if the only reason I bring it up is just that I wonder if there's like they're bringing up interesting and valuable items from the mine, which means they're not bringing up ore or something.
Yeah,
they're bringing up old stuff. So the only reason I bring it up is to say, like, I wonder if there's a way that it could be connected to something kind of from our time that would make it symbolically interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I bring it up.
Just don't have enough information. Like,
I kind of think that, so like, based on what I know, remember from the end of this book, it's like when the world remakes itself, I don't think that you get like a completely start from scratch new planet. Like, you're still like right, there's like a flood, there's still people from the last world left over. You know, like, you don't get a totally new world. You're getting like the destroyed shit from the last one. You're getting a layer on top of that. Right?
Right. When you shake an Etch-a-Sketch and then draw a new picture, you're still using the same magnet file.
Yeah. That's better. That's a better example. That's a better, like, way to say what I mean.
Thanks.
You, like... But, like, so yeah, it could be from anything. There could be any fucking thing in there. There could be this very tablet that I'm talking to you.
That's right. In the mine itself.
With all your apps still loaded on it.
Yes. With a screenshot.
My favorite apps.
Oh, Carolyn says that he encounters the Green Man in Saltus.
Yeah.
He does?
The first time round.
Oh, yeah, the first time.
So maybe the Green
Man
whispering?
You said what?
I was thinking for a second, I was like, maybe the Green Man's whispering, but the Green Man doesn't care about the fucking.
No, the Green Man has been, ever since that moment, he's been running through time looking for another place to help Severian.
Right.
Oh yeah, she's saying maybe the mines are portals to the corridors of time, or he was inquiring about that.
I don't know. I gotta say that what's underneath Saltus is one of the most confusing things about these books too.
It's so cool.
I'm still not 100% certain on the beast with feet like cities that he.
Exactly. What
What
the hell
is
is that?
that?
Yeah, or just like when he's in the mine and it's like maybe a being. He's like maybe inside of a being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just one of the most confusing things.
There's just,
Yeah, because I mean, there's something to that cave. There's something to it because it's protected by the Autarchs, man-apes.
Well, we did decide that was those man-apes were autarchian.
Oh.
Well, it's protected
from
by,
before autarchs.
it's protected by the man-apes anyway.
It is.
So the man-apes were put in there since this time where Severian is. It must be like in between.
I don't know. I think they're down there now.
Do you think they've been down there the whole time?
Yeah, I feel like they're from like Apu Punchao,
Like some kind of
universe prior.
You think we got it's like a Hollow Earth entrance, Connor?
Wait,
I mean, it's no secret that I am a supporter of Hollow Earth theories.
could this be a reference to any like Jules Verne kind of or like H.G. Wells kind of shit? Like, I've never read Journey to the Center of the Earth, but I think they encounter being. And
I highly recommend the '60s movie of that.
Yeah,
It is good.
I think I've seen it actually when I was a kid. They're like all green, right?
I watched it so much as a kid, and I watched it maybe like sometime in the last 10 years. I rewatched it, and I was really nervous because I loved it so much as a kid. And then you watch movies that you loved as a kid, and sometimes they're ruined.
Yeah.
But it was not ruined. It was so good.
Well, it's got a lot of Harryhausen stuff in it, right?
What does that mean?
Like the stop motion stuff.
Yeah,
You mean like Hufflepuff and Slytherin?
it's got a lot of good.
Oh, not
it's like,
Harry Houses.
Harryhauses.
That was a very good joke.
like Clash of the Titans type special effects. Yeah. It's good.
Jason
It's a
and the
good,
Argonauts.
good
A
movie.
Tool video.
I reckon.
It's a lot like a Tool
I think
video.
it's more like a sledgehammer.
How, can we ever have a book club where we don't talk about Tool?
Can't happen. But
I
I
bet
think
Tool seems like exactly the kind of band that would have read these books.
A libertarian Catholic band?
Or at
I
least
could
the
imagine
first one.
Armini being a Tool fan.
Yeah, they would have read the first one for sure.
The first one. Okay, Nessus again, huh?
Altus again, Nessus again.
Yeah, I love all these again chapters.
Yeah.
So now he's being taken away because Burgundafora pointed him out. She's Judas now.
Right.
Fucking
Well, that
good.
I mean, that's a sort of what like a Coptic, or maybe it's a Coptic gospel kind of thing, or a Gnostic, not Coptic. Thank you. Where like Judas is depicted in the non-canon Bible books as like being this kind of outsider and enemy, but in some books that didn't get in, he's depicted as the number one guy, like really like the actual like Jesus's favorite one.
Yeah, the Gospel of Judas. They talk about he's the one that gets the secret knowledge of like, look, you are going to be the most important person in the world, but you got to look like the bad guy to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So and those are also ones where you see Jesus kind of like taking this like way more mystical tack with a lot of this stuff. So I don't know.
I think those are also the ones where you get to hear about Jesus kissing Mary Magdalene on the mouth.
Ooh.
And his two brothers.
His two brothers?
Yeah, I thought that Jesus had two brothers. Does he just have James? Why did
I don't know about the other brother, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
James?
there's
Is his name
sometimes.
James?
He's got
Yeah,
James Christ.
he has a brother named James, and then two other brothers named Bobby and Mike.
Whatever.
Jimmy, Bobby, Mikey, Jesse.
Trevor, Kevin.
McLeod.
Have you guys ever seen that?
Oh wow, that Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That was great. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that clip where? Have you guys ever seen that clip where Danzig is like talking about his book collection?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has this thing that's like the lost books of the Bible.
Ooh.
They never talk about this stuff. It's a really good clip.
It is like as that is one of the things that made me love Danzig.
It's really funny.
It's very funny.
You really should. It's not very long. It's probably like 2 minutes long, and it is worth watching. It was worth taking 2 minutes out of your life to watch the clip of Danzig showing off his library.
Yeah,
Okay.
Danzig taking himself too seriously, and
But he's also kind of like laughing the whole time.
it's so endearing.
It's really, it's quite cute. It's quite cute. He's like kind of snickering and like talking about evil.
About evil?
It's really good.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah, do yourselves a favor if you haven't seen that.
He's into evil?
Yeah, but he's like kind of like a kid about it.
I mean, that's the
Very
message
cute.
through and through is being into evil like a kid would be.
It's very cute. Yeah, you really should watch it.
Danzig in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly. I love it deeply, and that's exactly what it is.
Just do yourself.
But what did Severian do in Nessus?
Well, at the very beginning, we get him, being beaten and falling and rising and falling again, which is, of course, part of the Stations of the Cross.
Right?
Yeah.
Passion of the
Followed up
Christ.
by him spitting blood in the face of his captor, who accused him of, killing a couple of the guys when he was fighting them.
Just like Jesus.
Like Jesus.
Mel Gibson could have made this
Yeah.
story.
I mean, that is actually someone that I've thought about directing this television program.
He's good at it. I mean, it would a lot of the same themes of Apocalypto would fit here.
Yeah.
I like his crazy, crazy movies. But he is a
I should watch
broken
them.
man.
I haven't watched any of them.
You haven't watched
I
it yet?
haven't, I haven't
seen
either.
any of them either.
Oh, they're insane.
Apocalypto is just legitimately great. There's nothing about it that if no one told you that Mel Gibson had directed it, you would think it was like some new auteur.
I mean, it's just also amazing to have someone be at some point in their life like, okay, when I direct a movie, it's in a dead language. I don't want anybody currently speaking the language that my movie is in. That's just crazy.
I forgot that part of it.
Right, it's all Aramaic, isn't it?
I saw. What was the first one that he was? It Passion,
Passion.
of the Christ.
Yeah.
I saw
His first
that
big
one.
one.
I saw that one.
Was that good?
I think I saw it in the theater.
Isn't it just like Christian horror porn? That's the.
Yeah, I
it was
remember.
like, I love Jesus
fuck.
so much, I'm going to make a movie about him just getting the shit beat out of him
Yeah, I remember that being
as
really.
surely as possible.
Yeah.
It is
Like,
almost
super
90
bloody.
minutes of one dude getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah. I remember just being like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is fucking
That's-
insane."
That's pretty radical.
It is artsy. It is an artsy film.
It's interesting that the guy from Lethal Weapon made these movies. It is. It's interesting.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon. I saw Die Hard in my head.
He's
when you
also-
No.
He's also
I was
Don't bring
wrong.
right?
He's
Don't
also
bring him into
in
this.
he is in What Women Want.
He
Right.
is,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's in what's that fucking woodchuck movie? What's the fucking
The Beaver.
Oh,
Beav?
yeah, the Beaver.
The Beaver.
Beaver.
The Beaver? Never
And
heard of
everyone
that.
was
Yeah,
mad
yeah,
at
no, that
Jodie-
movie was really good.
Yeah, everyone was so
Was
pissed at Jodie Foster for putting him in a great movie after he had. been
Right,
busted.
it was such a really weird good movie.
What's it called?
The
The
Beaver.
Beaver.
It's
Mel
called
Gibson
The
plays a
Beat.
dad who only speaks to a hand puppet because he's having a midlife crisis.
Oh, I might have seen that.
It
I
was
never saw
really
it.
good.
Jodie Foster is so good at directing.
Jodie Foster was really good. That's why I really enjoyed the television
actor.
program Tales from the Loop. She directed an episode
Oh,
of
for
that.
real?
It's beautiful and heartbreaking every single episode.
Yeah, whenever she does like a
It's
guest,
cyberpunk with no mystery or fighting in it. It's great.
whenever she does a guest direction on a TV show, it's always like a superlative episode of that show.
Well, check out Tales from the Loop.
Interesting.
Okie
It's a television show based on a series of oil paintings.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
So he gets taken to the cell. He kills the lady. The what's it called? What's that person's proctor? What is the first? What is her
Hillary.
title?
What
I can't remember.
Oh,
She's the reason that
Madam
there's no.
Prefect? The
The
prefect.
prefect.
Yeah. She's the reason that there's no female torturers.
Oh.
Like, her cruelty is where women get the reputation of being too cruel to be torturers.
Oh.
They make it a point a couple times to tell us literally everyone there is happy she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna get punished for that.
It's cool too for this is Severian seeing a common sense generalization that he's always taken for granted being embodied in a single person's actions.
Mm-hmm.
That there's just in his own time or his original time, there's just a conventional wisdom. Women are too cruel, and it's like that's what happened over the years from this one woman being too cruel.
Well, and I think that rule was made by Yamar, who we see here being a child affected by it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are cool.
I mean, I feel like I dig what you're saying, Ryan, and I feel like there's also this kind of backwash to it and it makes sense that we're seeing this generalization that Severian had epitomized in one person, because this is the one person who pissed off one other person who became powerful enough to make this one person the rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is both the deconstruction of stereotypes and the origin of stereotypes,
Yes. Cool.
which I guess makes sense. Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm having a fun time over it.
It's an example of all of our conventional wisdoms that we just take for granted. They're all going to start here.
Right. Any generalization has a specific instance that started it. Totally. Well, that's beautiful.
We see. So we also see here the beginnings of the first book of the New Sun.
Mm-hmm.
The
Canog's version.
Yeah.
An extremely Irish name to be writing it. And I think is a little Irish wrote the Bible and built the pyramids thing in there.
And belong in jail.
What was that?
And the Irish belong in jail.
I mean, in one way or another, if they're the guards of the prisoners, that's where they belong. I mean, they're horrible thugs.
Yeah, let's bring back racism against the Irish. That's
Why not?
It never left.
God made them to look like pigs for a reason.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I've read a lot about the historical.
I think that's like a major thesis of Martin Scorsese, right? Like, yeah, like the Irish integrated themselves into society by becoming brutal cops.
Yeah. But that also invented unions.
Yeah. Notable.
They clump into gangs. It's their clannish nature.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry to all the people of my own race for saying such things about you.
It's okay.
Corned
It's
beef and
okay
cabbage
to
is
insult. It's
fucking
okay
good.
for me to insult the Irish. I'm Irish, so you know
Corned
it's
beef
okay.
and cabbage is fucking good. Okay.
The what? Corned beef and cabbage?
Corned beef and cabbage is fucking good.
I know.
I just want to say that.
I had
So
some this
is
year
there.
on St. Patrick's Day.
And so is Guinness.
Ireland also produces all the best writers.
Yeah.
Guinness ain't that
It's funny because for so long they outlawed writing because they thought that writing stuff down ruins your memory.
It does.
That's a Plato thing, also, right? That's something that Socrates basically says in Phaedrus, something like that.
Well,
It's about the origin of writing, how it's a bad thing.
it kind of connects back to, it's so funny that we think that people from the distant past were primitive and stupid, because like if you wanted to listen to a poem, you had to find a guy who could memorize like 3,000 lines.
Without ever being able to read it.
Yeah.
He couldn't
Right.
memorize it. He had to hear it and memorize it.
And then there's the whole like lost art of memory palaces, which is fucking awesome and really hard to grasp today because we have no need for them.
Right.
It seems like a really good practice.
I highly recommend Francis Yates' book, The Art of Memory, which is just an attempt by Francis Yates to like collect everything we know about memory palaces into one tome.
In Latro of the Mist, the negative of this series, in the second book they use memory palace stuff because the author of that book, as the negative of Severian, can't remember anything. Can only remember the current what's happened today. He can't remember what happened yesterday.
He gets taken advantage of by Joey Pantoliano.
What?
No, it's full of your favorite historical Greeks. Actually, I recommend it.
Stavros. when
The
it comes
Soldier of the Mist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The Soldier of the Mist is the first book.
I'm like a third into that right now. Actually, I've been
Soldier of the
reading
Mist?
it. Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
yeah. It's really cool.
I want to
Okay.
read it, but I also really want to finish Long Sun first, and
Right.
then I really want to read Short Sun.
Yeah.
I feel like all these other ones are going to push back and back and back.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
why-
so many books on my plate right now. I feel rich.
You know who
Lousy
reads multiple
book.
books at a time, as many as 6 or 7? Bob Odenkirk.
I grew up reading at least 5
Well,
books
he's
at a
smart.
time.
I didn't know he was such a bibliophile, but apparently he's a very intense lover of books.
That's
We should put him in our
quarantine
book
is
club.
really bad for me reading multiple books because I kind of had books by location. They're
Yeah.
like, this is my bus book, and this is my office book, and this is my bed book, and this is my toilet book. But now I'm
Sounds like
always in the same
secret
place,
song.
so I'm just always reading the same book.
Yeah, I'm having the same experience. I do the same thing where I'm usually reading like 3 or 4, and now I do nothing. I don't even read the book that we're reading. That's not true. I'm reading a lot of the books that we're reading at the same time.
I'm doing this one in Long Sun.
This book
But-
actually keeps me going through the quarantine a lot when
Oh,
I get
I
worried
love
about only having
wanna read it.
$1 and not knowing how I'd ever even get another dollar. This book takes a really good look at being really poor, and makes you
It's
feel
on my
good
shelf.
about it. Like these people are poor but happy.
Interesting.
Oh, so does anyone else have this?
No.
No. I want to get it. Is it good?
I don't know yet. I haven't looked at it because I feel like
Are
I'm
you-
too.
Are you afraid to look at it until you've read Short Sun?
No, because it's actually two discrete sections.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, see this?
Oh,
Oh,
wow. That
It's a
is
divider.
That's nice.
So it's separated, but yeah, there's a long sun half and a short. But I feel like I'm too. Even though I've read Long Sun already, I feel like I'm too at the beginning of it to start looking at it yet. I need to get a little deeper. I need to get my foot firmly in the planted in the world of that
Yeah, I
world
wanna
again.
read it.
I feel like there's more to unravel in Long and Short Sun than there is in New Sun.
I mean,
Like,
there's
not more
a,
material, but it's packed denser in those books.
Yeah.
I
It
feel
seems like it.
New Sun made me change the way I thought about writing and reading, and then Long Sun made me change the way I thought about living and believing.
Whoa.
it makes sense that it would be like in stages.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, what's he gonna do after you do the New Sun? What's your next thing? It's gotta be.
Well, your next thing is to build on like, it's like you build this like base of like getting people to this point where they like can think about the shit that you're trying to get them to think about.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing of like New Sun is like your training course. It's like, okay, now you can think about these things that I'm trying to get you to think about. And now we're gonna like think about those things. Like you're gonna go into this one with that foundation of being able to think about the things I want you to think about. So like I can talk about a little bit more in this one, you know.
I feel like also Wolfe starts applying his own advice to some of his own attitudes. Like in New Sun, I feel like he is a pretty explicit monotheist. And then when we get to Long Sun, he has to account for polytheism. He can't do the same attitude of like, well, that's an old thing, so it's primitive and bad. He has to bring it in, like, into the discussion seriously.
Well, but he still has. I mean, there's still the outsider.
Right. I mean, and that's like but that's like the Neoplatonic middle ground of like all of these intermediaries are really important because they ultimately intercede between you and the furthest unity.
Zervan.
But I feel like you could read New Sun and not feel a need to contend with like the millenniums of polytheism.
Right. I know. I love Long Sun. I love Silk.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good.
He's so oblivious in a much better way than Severian, I think.
He's the nice
I
autistic.
I talk shit on him in the beginning, but like, whatever. Like we're all like that in our own in a fucking way, you know.
I mean, he's still an idiot, but I think that
Sure, yeah.
I think that Silk's an idiot in a much more innocent way than Severian.
Yeah, Silk is an idiot, and like, you know, the thing that I was commenting on specifically was like he makes a lot of excuses for himself, and it seems like he very consciously makes a lot of excuses for himself, and it's like, no, that's what your brain is like. That's what it's like to be a person, is that you're constantly justifying your behaviors to each other and trying to be like, no, what I did was fine. This is fine. You know, no matter how much we want to think that we don't. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm like telling on myself right now.
No, I think that. I mean, I feel like that goes back to what I was saying about sin earlier. That like,
yes,
you
totally.
can't expect
Absolutely.
yourself to not do this. You have to accept that you do it and then keep moving.
Yeah, and also I feel as I'm progressing, I feel like he kind of like. I feel like he at least makes an effort to if he really feels like he's done something wrong, he makes an effort to like really stupidly try to like atone for it in some like meaningless way, at least, you know, or like.
Have any of you guys seen the TV show Enlightened with Laura Dern?
Yeah.
Oh, I watched I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I did watch some of it when it came out.
It's totally worth. It's only 2 seasons before they cancel it. It's totally worth going the whole way. But I feel like there's some parallels between Amy Jellicoe and Silk. They're both like people who are like real dense and kind of like they have like a stupid person's relationship to their religion, but
they're real sweeties.
Yeah, but they are ultimately want to be a person that does good, and so they constantly kind of fail into the right thing.
Right.
They fall ass backwards into helping people because even though they don't really
falling upwards.
Yeah. Great show though.
It is good.
Mike White needs to be on that side of the camera more often.
Because he's not good to look at.
Oh no! I meant the side where we get to see him. He's writing stuff all the time. I want to see. I love the way he acts.
Yeah, he's
such a weird-looking guy.
He is a very weird-looking dude, and he steers all the way into it with his acting.
Yeah.
And he's a real one. I mean, that whole show is based on his own experiences of freaking out having to work for a corporation that creates entertainment.
Working for corporations is bad. If anybody watching this right now works for a corporation or plans to work out for a corporation again sometime in the future, I recommend that you just don't do it anymore. Work for something else. Start working for yourself. Work against the corporation. Get a job doing that.
Damn the man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Connor.
Yeah, no problem. I've worked for corporations, and now I only work for people, and I think working for people is better.
Okay, we got some from Carolyn here. The crux of Greek philosophy is a temporal structure that privileges the present, with the exception of pre-Socratics and skeptics. But that temporal structure is the root of a kind of rationalism that informs the privileging of linear temporality.
See, I wish I knew what she was saying that in response to, though. Right, because that's from like 2 minutes ago, and I don't remember what we were talking about.
About how Latro combines memory and Greeks.
Oh. Yeah, all right.
Cool.
Anyways.
Where are we now?
Nessus.
Well, we were talking about Nessus, but then we started talking about killing the prefect, which actually happens in the next chapter, the Citadel.
Yeah, we skipped,
sorry,
skipped a little bit.
Yeah, well, these kind of run together. They're all really short.
Yeah,
there's not that much happening that needs to be.
It's all pretty straightforward.
We're going. It's re-entry.
Yeah.
You know, like we got to acknowledge, and we're in this layer of the nesting doll, but nothing actually happens here. But we penetrated this layer.
So, yeah, Nessus again is basically him just coming off the boat and getting manacled, and then 36, the Citadel again, is where he realizes where he is and sees the witch's tower and all that, and then kills the prefect.
It's great when the doctor comes in and kind of explains what happens to him, and Severian's just like, yeah, right, that's sure.
One in on the scientist.
Yeah, but exactly. I love it, and I also feel like that characterization of that doctor gives me a glimmer of his characterizations in the New Sun quadrilogy. I remember last week we were kind of talking about how a lot of these smaller characters weren't necessarily as sharp as the New Sun ones, but I feel like I got a little bit of a sense of this doctor, just in this little page here. I dug that little part.
Yeah,
we're back in a world where specifics and details exist.
Yeah,
he was just visiting a world where there were no details. There was only concepts. Now we're back in it. People are real again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a junior officer, is for your information.
Right.
Yeah, they have attitudes and personality.
Right.
I read something about Aphida yesterday, the actual goddess, and now I can't remember what it was, but something about how she guards heaven or something that was related to something. Whatever. Let's keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Ever forward.
It's
Well,
interesting.
he gets shot.
But it's interesting to kind of like popping these little things about Talos's play in right before he goes into the cell.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like he says the thing about Dorcas and being the mother of whatever, and then he does this quote to the doctor, and he's just like in the play. He's like
Mhm.
he's like connecting it into the play a bunch, and then he's like,
Well, he is in
and
the
then he
play.
goes immediately into the cell.
Well, it's also it makes sometimes you wonder if Gene Wolfe has been in the theater, because I feel like he's very capable of evoking what it feels like to be in the theater. And there's certainly these periods of like somebody will just say something that'll remind me of a cue line that I had, and suddenly huge blocks of text and motion will in my body's mind, you know.
Mhm.
And I feel
Yeah.
like it's the kind of thing you're getting. This reminds me of the play.
Right. It's so funny. It's kind of like funny. I like how it's funny. It's kind of like weird. It's like it's all just like kind of snapping in.
Yeah, it's resetting the board.
It's kind of like the thing he's doing there is also like the thing we're all doing, where we're kind of like trying to connect connecting these things. It's just like it just feels good.
It's kind of this is where we've overlapped and gone around. So the book is now doing what we've been doing the whole book of putting the pieces together. Now we're watching the book put its pieces together. You're right, exactly. It's we've gone one
helix.
round. We're starting the next iteration.
The play kind of acts as like a central point where all of these different strands of the helix kind of flow through. You know, like it's interesting. Like the play is Severian in a way is writing the play now, you know, but in the future he'll take part of it, but it also sculpts, you know, his writing of it. It just and it's also this creation myth,
right?
That is true. I don't know. that is the Bible.
Very satisfying.
Yeah, it's cool, and then also just the concept of life, I guess, kind of being like a play, you know, that kind of like real basic metaphor seems important to Wolfe too.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice with this book at the beginning when I started it. It's like, why are we doing this? Why are we adding this to this story?
Yeah.
And then you get to having gone through all that, and you get to this part, and it's just everything is such an intense amount of payoff.
Yeah.
I never saw coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's
like
great.
How could he not have written this one?
He did.
Yeah, well, that's why I always like I'm kind of like upset whenever people don't read it. I like find it really upsetting.
Well, it's Jimmy's.
It's like people who only read the first 3 Dune books.
What was that?
Like, you know, you guys know any of these people who are like who only read the first 3 Dune books because they're like the last 3 like aren't like really
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Oh no, they're all so good. But yeah,
Stupid.
Jimmy's stance on Urth of the New Sun being like, I felt like I already read all that stuff in the New Sun. It is such a flabbergasting response to it to me, because it's like, well, yeah.
He's just trying to be smart.
Yeah, like, right.
He's just trying to sound smart, and that's why it's stupid, because you can't be smart about something you don't know about. Though he did read it, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He doesn't even know what he's saying, obviously. Like, he doesn't understand the book as well as he thinks. If, like, he thinks he could put that over on us.
I don't know.
Can't. Hi,
Jordan and I were talking yesterday about that point last time where she was like, oh my god, dogs are fighting outside, and then her screen just shut off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a really good point.
Dogs had like shut off the internet somehow when they're fighting.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, I
That was
know.
a
It's
theater.
crazy. That's what
I'll be
I
right
was
back.
wondering if that happened because it was so
That was
like
theatrical.
perfect.
It was like
That
the
was
part
the
at the end of Shadow of the Torture where the dog men are inside the walls and then the book's over.
Wait, say that again?
Did anyone think that Severian was set to be tortured and that would happen in this book?
Yes.
I thought that that's where it was heading, and I thought that would have been pretty nice thematically, although maybe a little ugly to read.
Well, it would have been really satisfying because he does say when he becomes autarch, I'm going to make sure everybody who's a torturer gets tortured so they understand what they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It would have been a nice way to come around and bite him in the ass.
I just thought that would have made so much sense.
Although I guess he was tortured when he was after Agia broke his cheek. And his leg gets
Yeah.
delayed.
Well, doesn't
A little bit.
there's something where they at least get trained as torturers to be able to like withstand huge amounts of pain. Isn't that mentioned at some point?
He makes that rule that they have to, after he becomes autarch, he makes the
Yeah,
rule that they have to go through torture.
But doesn't he say at some point when he's like, when either something is happening to him at some point in these books, and he says like, I've been trained to like withstand a certain amount of pain in my training as a torturer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different than being tortured.
Yeah, but yeah, true, I guess.
I saw somebody waterboard Mason at a party once.
What?
For how long?
Mason just felt, what?
For how long?
Just a little bit, but Mason just felt like it was an experience he should go through.
Yeah.
And then nobody could argue with him?
Well, you've heard what Jesse the Body says about it.
No, what did he say?
He says when he was like a Navy SEAL, they were all trained to withstand it, and he says it's absolutely torture. That there's nothing ambiguous about waterboarding
Right.
when you're experiencing it. It is utmost torture.
It seems like it's the case.
Yeah, your body
Horrifying.
and mind are both convinced that you are dying.
Well, maybe he'll be president now.
Mason,
No, Jesse the Buddy Ventura.
he doesn't.
Wait,
wanna
so
be-
is it like the Gom Jabbar? Or something?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's when you find out if he's human.
Gom Jabbar.
Gom
Getting a lot
Jabbar.
of Dune in this episode. A lot of Dune in this episode.
I can't look at these books without seeing Dune because I was reading them at the same time.
Maybe
every other one.
Jodorowsky should do the movie version of New Sun.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
You
Jodorowsky should
do
do
it.
every version of every movie.
Actually, he could do it because he doesn't care if you understand what the movie is about,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Like, I mean, maybe he does. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's too focused on that. It seems like there's a lot going on in movies that he
He's
doesn't know
interested.
about.
We would need
He's
that kind of
interested
attitude.
in conveying the symbols.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
He should
So,
have
like-
done Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
He should do everything.
He should be the only director.
The last movie, the Flowers one.
No.
Which
Oh,
one?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, wait, I think I did.
It's his best one.
Yeah.
It is. It's so incredible, and I think it's his best movie.
I hear
The
he's
last
making
one I
Doctor
saw-
Strange too.
The last one I saw was Dance of Reality, and I didn't see. But there's only one since then,
Yeah,
which is that one. You know.
and it's autobiographical. It's about like a pretty.
So
short
it's like the
period.
second.
Yeah,
isn't
I've
it like
seen
the
that
second
one.
part to the. Isn't it like the second Dance of Reality is also autobiographical, right? And it's like another.
It must be. How young is he in Dance of the Flower?
Like a boy.
Yeah. Then it's a sequel because this is like he's like a teenager, and it ends with him
Right,
living
yeah,
in
that's
Europe for the first time.
That was my understanding. Is that it's like the next one. Did you see Dance of Reality?
No.
Oh, great movie. Really weird.
Cool. Yeah, I need to see that one because I saw like they had the newer one at the Charles Theater for like 3 days, and I saw.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
saw it.
annoying. It's
I
so
could
annoying
not
how we can't
believe
get
how
movies.
great it was. I love Jodorowsky, and I was blown away.
I think that Jodorowsky makes good movies.
I had to go to DC to see Dance of Reality. I had to go to fucking DC because they didn't play it anywhere here.
Goddamn DC.
We're supposed to be a movie town. What the fuck?
It's insane how good Santa Sangre is.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh
Yeah, I mean,
man, it's so good. I mean, it's better than
That
El
is like
Topo or
first-
Holy Mountain, if you can believe
Is
it.
that his like first one? Was that before the other ones?
No, it's,
No,
it's
isn't
like
that
a
90s?
It was
late
after.
80s horror movie.
I haven't seen that many of his movies outside of El Topo and Holy Mountain, but I've read a bunch of his comics, and they're all buck wild too. So
Oh, did he do like Mobius stuff?
yeah,
Yeah.
like, he did
Yeah.
the intro with Mobius and Madwoman of the Sacred Heart, something like that. Like there are a bunch of them that he did through Humanoids, which is the like Metal Hurlant Mobius press kind of thing. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
if
like
you-
I mean the art's all amazing, of course, and like the Mobius style works so well with the Jodorowsky like thing.
It is pretty nuts how much Fifth Element is just the Inkall.
Yep.
Yeah. In some
It's
ways,
just-
I think.
there's just too many things that are like reprised.
Well, I mean, that's like that director's. I mean, he did Valerian also, which is another like classic French sci-fi comic. So like clearly, like it was pulling from that era of work.
He got into making movies to make Valerian.
Oh wow!
Like he
Wow.
would just sketch ideas for that movie in his notebooks in high school and shit.
Wow, that's kind of sad.
But first he made the professional.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. Then.
But no, like I said, but first he made Leon the Professional.
Right.
So like, don't
Which is
feel
also
bad for
which
him.
is also great. That movie's so fun.
It's the reason we have to endure Natalie Portman and all.
I don't think
She's
that's
good in that.
She's great in
Yeah,
that.
That's what I'm saying. She's great in that, and that's why we have to deal with the rest of her career.
And I'm excited to see her be Thor.
Is that going to happen?
Yes,
Yeah.
she's the new Thor.
Oh,
It's
fun.
interesting. Right.
That sounds better than regular Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
actually,
got-
Ragnarok.
Can she
No,
be
I love
funny?
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, they did a female Thor thing in the comics a couple of years ago, and it made a lot of nerds upset.
Jane Foster gets cancer and then beats cancer by becoming Thor.
That's all it takes. You just got to become Thor.
Isn't
But
Thor
not
like-
everybody can. You can't just become Thor.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Am I
You can't
mistaken,
just
or doesn't
dash up only or whatever you fucking want. What?
doesn't Thor have to be the funniest person in the whole universe?
The funniest?
Not until the third movie. In the first two movies, he's the
Yeah.
least funny in person.
Yeah.
He's not funny at all.
I only saw the first one, and I thought he was like the comic relief of the whole universe.
There
No.
were like vague sort of jokes that it was like, why don't they just know that this is the best part about Thor? And then they were like, oh wait, here's the best part about Thor, and this is Thor Ragnarok, and it's really good.
Okay, yeah, I only saw that first one, and I thought.
So if you're only gonna watch one Thor movie, make it Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, and you don't need to see it. You don't need. They'll be like, oh, this thing happened. All you need to do is be like, okay, something happened before this, and then move on. You know what I mean? Like, if there's like something confusing, just like be like, oh, something happened I don't know about, but like it is that guy. All right, keep going. And that happens like twice, maybe. Just like stuff with his dad. You
It
just need to
stands
know
on
that
its
it's his
own
dad.
right.
His dad's Anthony Hopkins, so just be happy that you get to see Anthony Hopkins.
He is great.
How
It's
about
very-
the book? How about the book, y'all?
Anyway,
Yeah, what about it?
I just think we should think about it again.
Is Anthony Hopkins in it?
He could be.
The book.
Okay,
Who would Anthony Hopkins
He
play?
could be Nog.
Oh, he could be.
He likes a jail cell. He's good at
Oh,
that.
yeah, he does. I've seen a lot of movies. Has anybody seen Instinct?
No.
Oh, well, he's in a jail cell in it a lot.
Nice.
What's the significance of Kanag's story about the shopkeeper? It's the bottom of 264. He's explaining why he's in jail. I killed
Yeah.
a fool of a shopkeeper. I knocked over a brass candle, and he came through with a pillow sword in his hand.
Hmm.
What could I do? There's got to be something to this story. What is it? And what is a pillow sword?
I think the main point of his story is that he says this, like, a man has a right to save his own life, doesn't he? And then Severian says, not under every circumstance.
Not having known the thought was in him until he...
Yeah, which I is really interesting.
Is Severian saying here that he thinks he's going to die to bring the new sun?
I think he might have said that there were times that he thought he should have died.
Oh,
That it would have been just for him to die.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He is a raper.
Yeah.
Just another white male raper that's in power.
That's you can't vote for president,
That's right.
like the rest of them.
Yeah, he's gonna
Yep.
rule the world. That's all you need to do.
Good thing he's non-democratically elected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
I guess neither are these other guys.
Yeah, no.
He kind of comes forth with some prophecy at the end of this chapter.
Does it rhyme?
What's that?
Oh well, he writes the play.
Yeah, he's like, look, the sun's dying. Here's what's going to happen. Erebus and Abaya are going to join forces. The ice is going to come up.
Well, this whole thing is how the play gets written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least a version of it.
And he's like drawing upon the play to like,
Yeah, it's a loop.
No fate but what we make.
that's right.
Denise Cameron said it.
This
And he
part
gets
is
the
where I feel like Erebus and Abaya suddenly make sense to me, or why they're necessary. Like the Ashaeans are possessed by something. It's not just that like they're regular people with bad ideas. It's like they are so taken over by the bad ideas that it's transpersonal.
Demomorphic.
What?
Pigor.
Yeah.
Tipper
Like,
Gore?
Urgagore.
What?
What?
Urgagore.
Oh. I thought you said Tipper Gore.
Tipper Gore.
Tippergore is a demon.
Censored.
Tippergore is a demon. Let's just be clear. But anyway.
It's like humans can't even really take credit themselves for this insane drive to scale and growth. It's not even like you don't even get credit for that.
It's Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Somebody just walked past my house as I was screaming, it's Cthulhu.
You know what I miss about having meetings in your room there in your apartment, Connor, is that people from the Parkway would always be looking at us from like the windows in the Parkway and like for minutes on end sometimes.
Oh.
That would especially happen during Shadowrun because we would do it at night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Ryan made up a character for my new game.
What's your new game?
I'm making up a Mage the Awakening game based on social distancing.
All right, that sounds fun.
Everybody only plays it one-on-one over the internet with me, and none of the characters ever meet each other.
Okay,
They can only interact through NPCs and environment.
cool. I want to play that.
Guess what my character's name is?
Ryan.
No.
Just say it then.
Gary Strawberry.
Wait, I'm sorry. What just happened?
Gary Strawberry.
Gary Strawberry.
He's
Wait,
59
where
years
where
old.
did that?
It's a character that Ryan made up for a game.
Oh,
It's
That's very
also the
fun.
best name I've ever thought of.
Gary Strawberry.
Good job, Ryan.
Gary Strawberry.
Thank you.
It's fun to say. I haven't said it out loud yet. And now that I've said it out loud, I enjoy it magnitudes more.
Ever since I thought of it, I've been singing it in the house a lot.
Hell yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
Anyway,
I would like to acknowledge that "anyways" is the catchphrase from Deadwood.
is it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, watch it and watch for "anyways."
Is it everybody's catchphrase or does one character get it? Is that character Jane?
Almost everybody gets to say it,
Oh. Anyways.
and they all say it in the way that we say it in here. Anyways, and then they change it or go back
Well.
to something.
Anyways, we're going to the Tomb of the Monarch.
The Tomb of the Monarch.
Oh, it's getting so good.
oh yeah, we're making good time too on this episode.
2 hours.
Well, the text itself is picking up, like we're nearing the waterfall, so to speak.
True.
So how many is this? Yeah. So these are our last 2 chapters that we read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, so this is like a whole movie all by itself almost. These 2 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a trumpet?
That was Kenny.
Is that a vuvuzela?
It was Kenny.
Just Kenny's mouth.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
He was using his mouth?
Yeah.
Again.
Hell yeah, Kenny.
You got beautiful hair.
Did you hear that, Kenny? Did you hear that?
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
It's true, though, you do. Oh, you got a nice bucket, too. Check out that bucket.
Kenny is
Euphemism?
Kenny's working on the canoe today.
Ooh, he's building a canoe?
No, we have an aluminum canoe that has been needing some, like he's patching it with some fiberglass.
Oh, man, I totally, when you said he's working on the canoe, pictured that he had cut down a tree and he was burning out the middle of it.
That would happen.
I
But
believe
that's
that.
But what actually happened is that he traded cutting down a tree for the canoe.
There you go.
So it's similar.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so he's just sanded it and now he's like washing it so that it can get patched, and then we're gonna paint it. And he's gonna paint. He's been practicing his calligraphy for the side, so he can put the name on it.
What's the name?
The Leaky Johnston.
Ah! That's very funny.
Beautiful.
The Leaky Johnston.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, you guys also, I'm taking over a whole new patch of land behind my house.
Ooh.
That's my
You're
other
landing it?
project. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
It's good to have land.
Yeah, colonize it. Become an imperial.
I'm expanding. We cleaned up about 3,000 pounds of garbage out of the alley the other day.
Shit.
Holy hell.
Wow.
Kenny owns a dump truck.
Nice.
Really?
That was very convenient.
Huh.
We filled it up and then dumped it.
Kick ass.
Anyway, that's what's going on. And that's
Yeah.
why Kenny's carrying buckets around. But he hates his hair, so I think it was probably really nice that you said that about his hair.
Oh, no. His hair is beautiful. Wonderful.
He hates it.
Oh, it's great. I would kill for
Please don't,
I'm not
please don't
saying I
kill
want to kill him and take his hair. I'm saying that like I'm so dedicated to his hair that I will kill people for his hair. I'm a fedaikin for his hair.
To protect it.
I'll tell him you said that.
Yeah.
I'll tell him you said that. So that he knows in case it's one day necessary.
That's right. If anybody shoots at his hair, I'm gonna lay down my life.
Oh god. Shit, what is his name? Are you the God, I can't even tell the joke. I can't remember his name. Sorry. The guy
Sorry.
the guy Severian brings back to life, who then becomes the leader of his followers. You're that guy for Kenny's hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Declan?
Declan, yeah.
I'm Declan.
For Kenny's hair.
Because Kenny's hair brought you back to life.
I mean, it's great. It's beautiful. It looks like a drawing of hair.
Ooh.
That's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
The drawing is like the perfect ideal of whatever you're thinking.
That's right.
What is that,
What's
Ryan?
happening in Ryan's screen?
The straw?
Just a little. It's like a plastic tube.
What is it? Nail polish?
It's a plastic.
It's
Plastic
just a
tube.
piece of like. What is this? I don't know.
Look what I've got.
There you go.
Oh.
Whoa.
What has this episode devolved into?
Who else has
I'm just saying I also have a plastic tube.
I like it.
They're
I like it.
I've been
All right,
thinking about it,
so-
and I wanted to make sure no one thought it was like a vape, so I started doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Could,
the way you can definitively know that it's not a vape.
We got
could
derailed.
smoke crack out of it, maybe.
Oh, we don't have any tubes.
Don't have any
It's
tubes.
Madison.
It's me.
Madison!
Madison.
A bowl
don't
of
have any
coleslaw.
Just a bowl of coleslaw.
Just coleslaw.
Nice.
Coleslaw, coleslaw.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Coleslaw's good because it's got cabbage in it. Cabbage is good for you.
I
You
love
guys were devolving earlier than usual today.
Oh. Okay, bye.
Oops.
Well, we got through a lot, so I think.
That was not directed at Madison.
My heart is broken.
She's
That
really
was not directed at you.
an already devolving situation.
Mhm.
Compared to the reception that Kenny received.
But Connor just has a Bowie knife now.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Where did it come
Holding
from?
a knife.
How did I get it?
Oh my god! I wasn't looking at the screen, so I didn't know that that was real.
Oh, I
Drive
keep
it.
meaning to bring my cat whisker collection to show you guys.
What?
You have a collection of cat whiskers?
Yeah, I keep meaning to bring my little bottle of cat whiskers to show you, but
Oh, I've seen it.
Keep them in a bottle?
I've seen your bottle of cat whiskers, I think.
Yeah. Now I understand. It's good.
I have a. You're not the only person I know who collects their cat's whiskers.
I have a lot.
Good for you.
From many cats? From how many different cats?
Melvin, Josie, Cyrus, Lucky Pierre, Goblin, possibly Crazy Richard. So,
Those are good cat names.
They're
Lucky
great cats.
Pierre.
The lexicon of excellent cat names.
Was it Slow Pierre?
Lucky.
Lucky
Lucky
Pierre.
Pierre.
Lucky Pierre is a good name.
I'd
Lucky
like to
Pierre.
think that at one point he was just Pierre.
Definitely.
He was Lucky Pierre first, then he was kind of Pierre or Lucky P or Wiener,
Not really.
Wiener P.
Did you guys know that Katy Perry has a cat named Kitty Purry?
Oh.
That's really amazing.
That's the
It's
only
really
fact.
on
That's
brand.
the only factoid that I know about
Although-
Katy Perry.
Iggy Pop has a parrot named Biggie Pop.
Oh.
Big heap.
Not as good. Not as good. Although it is good that he has a parrot.
Yeah. No, they have a great relationship.
Do you think we can talk about the book more, or do you think we've gotten to that point where we can't talk about it anymore?
I think
I'm
we
really
can.
distracted.
We can talk more about Yamar. Does anybody want to say something about Yamar? Go.
He's not hot. Sorry. I think he's a kid. I shouldn't have said that.
There's like a doom metal band called Yamar.
Is there?
I'm pretty sure. I wonder if it's after.
There's a doom metal band called Shadow of the Torture.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
It's not that
and
creative in my opinion.
the band Koth that I really like has a couple tracks dedicated to these books loosely. Like they have a song called "The Shadow of the Torture" and a song called fuck, I actually forget what it's called. Something
Yeah,
else about
that.
torture.
Cough is rad.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Maybe it's not
Shadow of the
Yamar, maybe it's something else. I thought they were like a
There's a
Lovecraft.
Benedictine monk who became canonized called Umar. And it's also the name of one of the Cthulhu mythos celestial bodies.
Yeah, that's what the band's named after.
Right, that makes sense.
Cthulhu!
It's Cthulhu.
But it is also a Catholic saint.
It looks like there's also
Catholic.
there's a beat maker, like a rap producer called Umar.
So we're kind of talking about this.
Oh, dudes, Yamar's from Kent. I love Kent.
Yamar's moniker is Yamar the Almost Just, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds sort of like Monty Python-esque. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Yamar
but
the
that's also
Almost.
just what, like, they're all like Pepin the Short and Alfred the Bald. There's
Never flattering.
Half Dan is the name of some ancient English king.
Half Dan?
Yeah, like he was Dan, but only half of him.
Oh man.
I think they all have kind of slanted names.
Well, like, all of their names have to be unique, right? So at some point you start to get kind of weird.
I guess so.
Wouldn't it be cool if George W. Bush was like the Severian of our time and he writes a history of now with all his giving everyone nicknames? 1,000 years in the future, like all of the contemporary historical figures of our time are known by their George Bush nickname.
Rummy.
Did any of you guys get a copy of that thing Brian Nicholson wrote? Of the
No.
Joe
I didn't get all
Biden
the way
thing?
through
The
it.
Joe Biden thing.
I didn't get all the way through it yet either, but it is very funny. The
What
parts
is
that I
it?
did.
Dedicated.
We were texting recently about Joe Biden, and he was like, the one good thing that could come out of this is if Joe Biden, after this is all over, writes a book called What Happened, and it's like an avant-garde work of genius because his brain is just like falling apart.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's too bad that can't happen because all political people like that, they just have ghostwriters. Like, he won't be allowed to write his own book. And then Brian was like, oh, I should write it.
Yeah. That's
And
like
I
a-
said, yes, you should. And then he did. And it's pretty funny.
Cool.
So it's Joe Biden, like, describing.
Is he good at
What
capturing
happened?
Joe's voice?
He's pretty good.
That's awesome, then. I want to read that.
I think it's funny.
Somebody showed me, was it Jordan showed me a Twitter feed of somebody who is claiming to be Joe Biden posting just nonsense that I thought got his style of nonsense pretty good.
Yeah, because it teeters
Yeah, I
on
think-
the edge of coherence. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fine line. I feel like we ran into that in the Creepers a lot of trying to walk this fine line of, is this over the edge or is this not on the edge enough?
I think the Creepers do a good job of
Thank you very much.
that. I love that band
a
so much.
lyrical milestone in American rock music.
Big fan of the Creepers.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Check out the Creepers, everybody.
Yeah. Download my band on SoundCloud.
Please listen to the Creepers. Yes.
There's YouTube.
Although it,
Yeah, you gotta
Although
watch the videos.
although the experience of the live band is not, it could never be captured.
Yeah.
Pop, I love you.
Seeing creepers live and feeling all of the spectrum of reactions in every person around you.
Including
Being
many
able to
people,
watch it on their faces is really fun.
including many people who know the words.
Yep.
I know at least some of the words of some of the songs.
It is amazing watching I feel really weird about talking about this. But it is amazing seeing someone see the creepers for the first time.
It's weird talking about because you would play with like noise bands and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like it was just surprising for everyone involved.
These dude bros one time came up after a creepers show and said, "You guys started playing," and we were like, "What is it? Some kind of fucking joke?" And then later on we realized, oh, it's the best joke.
It's fucking fun. I mean, it's funny and good.
Well, thank
It's a
you.
good joke. It's hard to make a joke into a whole thing, but you did it.
Thank you very much. Anyways, let's stop talking about this while we broadcast.
It's
So
really
talented, Connor.
do you guys, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yamar.
You might be almost just.
We can talk about Typhon.
Does
I got
Yamar bring in a sort of dark ages or continue them? Like is Yamar
Right?
He's the first
Yeah, he's
author.
the first author.
Yeah, I mean, does he rule over sort of a stagnant era?
Is he also only he and like the Autarch before Severian are the only other people who attempt to do the thing? Does Yamar attempt it?
Yeah, I think
Oh.
that's true. I think that's true.
Yes, he does. And fails.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think everyone else doesn't try
Yeah.
until the one before Severian.
And we also
Alright.
learned everyone after Yamar carves their own likeness into a mountain.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, everyone after Typhon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, starting with Yamar.
Yamar's after Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, starting with typing. Everyone
Which
does.
that's such a cool image. When
It-
Severian's like, I'm seeing a naked mountain for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Cool.
cool.
Has anyone ever been to Mount Rushmore?
No.
Yes.
What's it like in person?
I don't remember.
You don't get to get that close to it, so it doesn't really. I feel like it's not. I don't know.
Isn't it
close
also
can
really
you be?
small?
It's not as big as it. I don't know. It's not like if you saw the mountain of Typhon.
Shit. That sucks.
Does it?
Did they not let you get close to it because they don't want people to spray paint like Hitler mustaches on them?
I mean,
No,
wasn't
it's
it?
because of the movie
Wasn't
North
it?
by Northwest.
Wasn't the dude like a KKK guy that made that?
It's the
Oh, yeah, wasn't he?
It's the guy that did Snow Mountain in Georgia, I think. Same guy, which was like Robert E. Lee and like all the
Oh.
Yeah.
Confederate. It's like a Confederate monument on the
Yeah.
side of a giant mountain
I think
outside of
Burzum's on
Atlanta.
that one too.
What a shame.
Fucked up.
I think the Mount Rushmore was like the same guy.
That makes sense.
But I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm glad that nobody else wants to do stuff like that. Not even Elon
let's
Musk
get-
wants to do
Let's
stuff
get a
like that.
Biden with let's get a mountain with Joe Biden's face.
Did you see the article that someone had proposed a Joe Biden hologram at the Grand Canyon?
Ryan, your sound is off.
What about now?
Can't hear you.
Did your cat chew on your microphone cable?
That'd be the cutest way to lose signal.
Plug in a different microphone.
Did you mute by accident?
Possibly. Let me see. Can you still not hear me?
Well, we're gonna wait for you.
Nothing I say is that
No
important.
talking.
Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talking amongst yourselves.
I don't know. What else do we talk about? I don't know if there's anything else we have to really talk about.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean, Typhon, obviously, but we could put it off till next time.
Well, what do you want to say about Typhon?
I don't
It's
know.
cool. It's cool that Typhon hides behind a curtain, and because he's like such a dickhead, no one will look in on him because they're afraid of getting killed if they look inside the curtain. So he just dies on the table and
Yeah.
shriveled up. That's
Yeah, he
amazing.
goes in for a long time.
I think it's also similar to the Madam Prefect, where
Yeah,
it's like
like-
you obey them because you have to, and they're in power, and they'll probably fucking kill you.
Yeah.
But then when you're dead, everyone's kind of like happy about it.
Yeah, they say that they like
even the
people ran away. Everyone just
even
leaves.
the Autarch
the moment they get a
soldiers,
chance.
or even the Autarch soldiers, even Typhon's soldiers are like, why don't you just kill him and take over?
yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Can you just kill him and take over? You seem cooler. Can you be my dad now?
It's funny they still want someone to like be in charge too. They're like, well, you know, they're not like, oh, let's get away and just do something else. They're like, well, let's do the same thing with somebody else being a dickhead.
That's what we're trying
Somebody's
to do
gotta
now,
be
isn't it?
good.
This part,
Ryan, we can't hear you still.
Severian seems to think
Oh,
that
take that.
he brings back Typhon in the future.
Mhm.
I remember us discussing whether it was the Claw / Severian that revived Typhon, or whether it was the machines that Typhon was attached to that were like turned back on. Nation of things. But Severian seems to be under the impression that he was the one who brought him back.
It was
I'm
probably
pretty
both.
sure that he did.
Yeah.
Is it by machine? Is it by claw? Does the claw turn on the machine?
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Does it matter? That's another fourth option.
Like, it's kind of weird to think that he was just dried out, and if he were just reconstituted, that he would get back his like brain power and like his heart would start beating and stuff. So like,
You know,
yeah,
you-
like, what?
What, Connor?
Nothing. Never mind.
No, am I
I mean,
misunderstanding
it's
something
Severian
about
and
what's
not the-
going on?
It's Severian and not the machine. Like,
It's both.
I mean, the machine
It can
is
be
part
both.
of it. Yeah, but it's not
Like-
only the machine. Like,
right, like
couldn't have been
the water
revived.
could have pumped into his body, and then Severian could have also like rekindled his whatever soul or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
Am I misunderstanding something about how Typhon comes back to life? That's my question. Because if I am, you can say so. You don't have to be like, whoa! No, I
I
can't tell.
don't think that you are.
I'm misunderstanding it.
No, I don't think you are.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm just
Cool.
thinking.
I just don't want you to be like, oh, I can't say anything. But I don't think you would, so I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any evidence to support that anyone would do that.
Yeah. Well, you know, because he just like started talking and stopped, and that made me, you know, you never know. You never know why people do things, so you have to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about next?
I guess Severian gets a fun Smilodon pet for a little while.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, Daniel and the Lion's Den.
Right.
It seems like unwise on Severian's part when he makes the comment that all of the weapons of animals are like toys compared to the weapons of men, because he's experienced some pretty crazy animals that are pretty dangerous, even in comparison to bombs and lasers and stuff. Like the nachos, and he's experienced the salamander and everything.
Yeah, salamander is crazy.
Yeah, like that seems pretty lethal. I guess he's just talking about regular, basic Earth animals.
Though, actually, I feel like the craziest enemy that Severians faced is a plant, the Avern.
Right.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's too bad we don't get too much Avern action in this book.
Yeah. I mean, the Avern unmakes our reality because it's from a different reality.
Yeah. Isn't
That's
it like...
crazy.
Wait, do we know how the Avern even got there? Like, was it brought there, or did it just happen there itself?
I assume it comes on Zadkiel.
But, like, would
Brought
someone
through a
have put it there on
mirror.
purpose, or would it have, like, itself made its way to Earth and then be, like...
Oh, wait a minute, it's probably not Zadkiel because it comes from the Botanical Gardens, so
It's
that's
from a mirror.
anyhow.
Brought through a mirror.
Yeah.
But, like, it could have just come through in the Botanical Gardens itself, is what I'm saying. Like, did a person...
Right. Someone had bring
I
it.
don't know if it matters. It's just interesting to think of a plant from another reality that by its own, like, traveling and, like, seeding and stuff managed to get itself there. I like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they say otherwise, but...
That is interesting. I mean, Father and Nier could have like curated the plants in that garden too.
Oh, yeah, he does, definitely. But, like, yeah.
Yeah, there isn't really enough Averns in this book.
Or other
No,
plants.
so
They don't talk
cool.
that much about other... There must be tons of other weird plants. They don't talk a lot about them. They mention
Yeah.
animals.
Well, the salamander's part plant.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only plants that he really
Green
talks
Man.
about are very, very like banal, like very normal orchard.
Dorcas has all those plants associated with it.
Right.
She's the flower queen.
Who does? Dorcas.
Dorcas
Oh, yeah,
Malort.
you're right. Oh, yeah, they mentioned flowers. Only one flower is purple, though.
Seems like Severian's getting like new superpowers every chapter. Like now, I haven't read beyond this section, but I'm curious to see what his like space-time jumping ability is all about.
Yeah.
I feel like he like believes that he has power now, and he's not like, is that the claw? Like he just gives the claw away. He's like, here.
Is there
You know.
is there a possibility that this is all like just sort of like some weird Aquaster reality, like that is part of his trial or something? I know this is a big question just to throw out, but that's just like something I'm thinking about now. Like,
His
Could this-
whole thing now that he's back on Earth?
yeah, I mean, could this all just be some kind of like virtual reality game that he's in right now?
See
I
how
guess
he-
that could be possible. Yeah.
I mean, this is a thing that I feel like is being talked a lot about right now in the world. Like, if we're in a simulation that is as good as reality, then isn't that reality?
Right.
Or like what value is added by that layer?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The only reason I
mean,
bring it up is because the question of the trial was never, in my mind, like exactly resolved, unless you consider just how Severian holds himself on the ship and on Yasad, which I guess is what it is. But it never seemed like a true trial to me.
I thought that the trial was kind of like his whole life, basically.
Or,
Yeah.
or
I think of the trial as being like everything is the trial, and he doesn't go to Yasad for the trial. He goes, which is what he thinks he is doing.
He goes there for the
He's going
judgment.
to Yasad to be judged. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
In
then
his job,
it's
his whole
explicitly-
life is one physical object. So it's like judging a kumquat or something.
I love kumquats.
They're pretty
I
good.
don't know why that's
I
the
judge
thing that
them.
came to
I
mind.
judge them to be good.
But you hate Severian, so.
I don't hate him. He just irritates me.
He's problematic.
There's one clause that I want to read out of context from 279, which is, I took off the thong and the little sack of manskin.
Why'd you want to take that out of context, Mark?
Because the context makes it less funny.
Right.
You had it. That was kind of a little bit. That moment was a little bit like reminded me a little bit of that Danzig clip.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he'll pull out a book and like read a little passage, and then he'll be like,
That's awesome.
"You guys gotta watch that." I'm gonna rewatch it too. I'm gonna take my own advice and rewatch it.
Yeah, Danzig's books. I don't know. Is there anything else for us to talk about in this section? We kind of ripped through it.
I think I'm good. I'm getting hungry. I've been hungry for like the last hour. I think it's distracting me.
Ooh, soon we're going to get to the Brook Madrigal.
That's right.
I'm excited to read forward. I'm excited to see where this is all going.
Wait, so you still haven't read the rest of this book yet? You're reading it first time, real time, right now.
In this series, I've read it in the past, but I have no recollection, so it's very fresh for me.
Okay.
It's crazy.
And yeah, to answer your question more specifically, I'm not like skipping forward, so I'm just reading to the point where we say, making notes on that, and then so that's just where my head's at.
Yeah.
It's a really good book.
You know?
It has been judged to be good.
I feel good about it.
Good book.
Well,
Cool.
there's nothing wrong with ending a little early.
Well, yeah, good work, everybody. Let's see. So we're gonna read next through, chapter 46.
Then there's only like 2 or 3 chapters after that.
Should we just finish it?
40.
Do you want to skip
It's 90
Next
pages.
47. It'd be 47 through
And finish?
47.
But I don't know what we decided just now.
Well, I think it could be
Nobody
good.
did anything.
It could be good. How many chapters are left?
11-ish, or maybe more than that. Like
Maybe
13,
what we
14.
could do is the thing that we've been doing at the end of all the other books, where it takes us forever to get through the end for some reason. So maybe what my suggestion would be is like we just read the rest, and then from here on, we just get as far as we can get each time.
I vote Jen.
Yeah, that's legit. Let's do that.
Can we also?
Because it's not that much of a chunk.
And can we meet in 2 weeks instead of next week?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, that works for me.
So we'll read the rest, and then we'll see how far we can get.
Cool. I'm gonna order a Long Sun.
Yeah, do it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
order
Do
it
it.
from
I'm gonna crush this.
thriftbooks.com.
You probably
Yeah, that's where I got mine.
Reading it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thrift book.
Connor, did you order this?
I did order it, but I don't have it.
I just want to. I am hoping to. I'm glad that you ordered it because I wouldn't want to be the only one who has it.
You won't be.
It would make me feel weird.
Is it set up the same way as the lexicon, or is it what?
It seems to be. Yeah, there's entries. There's entries like that.
Okay. Cool.
There
And then-
are in-
There's yes, there are entries. And then there are also in the. Oh, never mind. This is just a.
Just the book.
Anyway, get the book. Oh, I got this in the same box that I got that.
Nice.
Cool.
You guys know about this one?
That's a big book. Wow.
That guy looks awesome.
No, here, it's bigger on the back.
Whoa.
Nice.
Wow.
Are we still
Same
streaming?
same box.
Huh?
Oh yeah,
Are
are
we
we still streaming?
We are streaming. Ryan
Okay.
still doesn't have any
Yeah.
sound.
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah, sound now.
Wow, Ryan, you're
Huh.
back.
That's weird.
You were joshing with us the whole time.
Mark Aramini replied to my tweet.
Oh, what did you say?
What?
What'd he say?
Oh, I'm loading it up now. It actually looks pretty good.
You asked him. The tweet where you asked him who he's running for president.
Who he's voting?
I'll tell you. I said, do you endorse any particular candidate in this presidential cycle?
Who's
You know, 'cause
Marker?
and he said, I'm sorry for dodging this question, but I will engage philosophically with it. Is the will of 51% of the people a valid means to gauge anything, given Sturgeon's
Right.
law? Who will be the most beautiful candidate, rhetorically, physically, mentally? And then there's more.
Come on.
That means he likes Trump.
What a cop out. Yeah.
No, listen. It keeps going. Which candidate will bring Gene Wolfe to the popular literary consciousness of both the Academy and the common people? And finally, given that the only man or woman who can get things done must wield absolute authority, what frail mortal could possibly be worthy? There's a third part. Machiavelli said, "He who builds upon the people builds upon mud." Augustus Caesar said that he found Rome a city of bricks and left it a city of marble.
So, what?
He's voting
So,
for Augustus
Trump.
Caesar.
Maybe that just means that he's not voting.
Yeah, I think
Gary Johnson.
I don't think he seems to think highly of any candidate.
It sounds like since we're not going to get a God King, there's just no reason to vote.
I feel like that's a pretty, that's a pretty good answer.
He feels the way other people do, but for different reasons.
Well, I'm voting for him.
You're going to vote for Mark Aramini?
That's right.
Mark Aramini for God King.
That's right.
I guess I'll vote for him too. Whatever.
I mean, he could beat Trump in a one-handed push-up contest, which would be a big blow to Trump.
But could he beat Joe Biden in a one-handed push-up contest?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Joe Biden's been walking around challenging people to push-up contests.
He has.
Yeah, but
has-
has he actually followed through with any of them?
Do presidents follow through with things?
I'm just saying, Donald Trump is constantly saying a bunch of shit that he doesn't actually do, or whatever.
It's true. It's true.
Never built that wall.
You got a little bit done. You got a little bit.
Never made America great.
Yeah, failed to make America great.
Well, we'll just see about that, guys.
Still got a couple months.
And then
My red hat.
another 4 years. So
Yeah, he's still got another 5 years. He can
He's
do
got a
it.
good run. He's got a good run ahead of him.
on that note,
Yeah, I guess we can stop streaming, huh?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
better close this off before it gets
Yeah.
any worse.
Pinch it.
Everybody wave.
Bye,
Okay, so see you
everyone.
guys in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2
2 weeks.